There's a new comic coming out this summer based on the TV show. There's new toys. Are you kind of surprised at the resurgence in popularity of the old Batman TV show?
Not really, because, Batman is, honestly, it's a classic. It's something that appealed to all ages, from the youngest kids to the oldest adults, to the teenagers and the college kids. Everybody got something different from Batman, and it's lasted multi-generations. So when I make appearances, and Adam West, when he comes out and he makes appearances, both of us, we see people come up to us that now are adults, that have their own families, that watched us when they were kids, and they act as crazy and silly as their own kids do. It's like everybody remembers them being a kid growing up to Batman. So it's multi-generational.
And the show was great for all ages. I mean, Batman has taken a much darker tone lately, and this show didn't have that feel at all.
Well, because we were television. We were designed to reach a broad audience of families. And, in today's world, movies that are in theaters are more targeted to teenagers and, adults in their 20s. You know what I mean? That's their target market. So they're going to be edgier and stuff like that. But our show was suitable for the littlest kids to watch.
And you guys had some crazy stuff on there, like the bat shark repellent.
Oh yeah. Well, listen. Here's what happened. We had our show was written very, very funny. We played it very straight for kids. So kids were real hero worship, like, oh, I want to be like Batman and Robin. And then there were the adults that remembered the nostalgia of the comic book. And then for the teenagers and the college kids, which at the time was the hardest market to reach, all the double meanings and the insinuations and the fact that the censors were down on our backs every week for something we did. I mean, they just loved it. You couldn't get a seat in a dormitory at college on a Tuesday or Thursday night. Let me tell you, you had to be there 2 hours in advance.
I didn't know the censors were riding you guys. How often?
Oh my! Are you kidding? Oh, all you have to do is go watch one of our episodes, and you'll see all the sexual innuendos and the double meanings and we had this one scene with Catwoman where we had these two cat statues, and we put them in this numerical position of one number less than 70, and it created an uproar. Every week we were in trouble with the censors.
That's phenomenal. I was not aware, and my memories of the show are just of it was getting me into Batman.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if you've talked to Adam yet or not, but Adam is like one of the nicest guys I've ever met, and certainly one of the most fun guys I've ever met, but he's also one of the wildest guys I've ever met. Okay, I couldn't have been hanging around anybody that would get me more into trouble than my dear friend Adam.
Well, I'm hoping to talk to Adam, and I'm going to ask him about that, and if he did that to you on purpose.
Oh, well, listen, you just tell him that Burt says that you are a wild and crazy guy. You know what I mean? And the thing that was so funny is that what made us such a great team is that Adam likes to play the role of very debonair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He thinks of himself like Winston Churchill.
I always thought his Bruce Wayne was very James Bondish.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. You know what I mean? And here I am, like, just nothing but a kid, right? And you put the two of us together, and it's such a contrast. Honestly, when we're together, even if we don't say anything, people start laughing. Because it is such a contrast.
Now, Batman got to have the Batusi in the show. Robin didn't really get a dance. What would you?
Yeah, you know how the Batusi was created?
No.
Well, let me tell you, when Adam came in on the set and he did that Batusi, I mean, the camera guys were shaking the cameras. They were laughing so hard. And I said, Adam, where did you get that idea for that Batusi? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He says, well, I was out late last night with a nubile young maiden, and I was doing the horizontal mambo.
That's awesome.
And Adam has very funny things he says to people. Like when we would be in costume and make an appearance and somebody, a girl, well, I mean, when I say girl, I mean somebody in their 20s, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'd say, well, hello, and they say, oh, it's so nice to meet you. He says, it's nice for me to meet you. I have strange stirrings in my utility belt.
That's the greatest pickup line ever.
Oh my God! Oh, Adam was like the ultimate wolf. Oh.
No, I was going to say though, if Robin had a dance, what would you have called it?
I don't know. Who knows? I never. That's a great question. I'm going to have to think about that. But all I can tell you was that I had one of the wildest guys to work with, and my dear friend Adam, with the most wonderful sense of humor that you could ever. He has the most satirical sense. He sees things in ways that I've never seen anybody see things in that kind of an angle. You know what I mean?
And as great as Adam was, I think somebody else that got overlooked on the show was how great Cesar Romero's Joker was.
Oh, look, every one of those actors was fabulous. I mean, Cesar Romero, one of the greatest actors, the most phenomenal actor, Burgess Meredith, the Penguin, Frank Gorshin, the Riddler, Julie Newmar, Catwoman. Every one of them were great.
As a young boy, she had stirrings in my utility belt.
You're right. She was very popular. She's a big lady. She's like, I don't know, 6'4", and she wore her heels. She's 6'7". Adam is 6'4", and they put 3-inch heels on him, made him 6'7", and like I'm only 5'8". But they took the heels off my shoes so I would be smaller in proportion. and then Alan Napier, the butler, was 6'9.5". He was gigantic. And so, because a lot of people would see me, they say, "Oh my gosh, I didn't realize you're so big as Robin." Well, I'm not a big person. I'm a small person, but in relation to what people remember, they think of me as very small.
You were you were filming with like an NBA team.
Oh yeah, exactly it. That you hit it right on the head. That was just the way they did it on Batman. And everybody was big. They're all big. People. I was like the little guy on the set.
And you were talking a bit about the wildness of it. In your book, you got these crazy stories, and one of them that I remember that stuck out to me was you were enjoying a lady, we'll say, and Adam was watching.
Right.
And I was just in my head. The first thing that popped into my head was this in costume?
No. Without any clothes.
The two things that went through my head, being a Batman fan, was that in costume? And then when it was over, did he say, "Good job, old chum"?
Well, let me tell you, Adam and I, oh my, and the stuff is that people, they ask me about this stuff, and I tell them the real truth. Not only is everything 100% real, okay? But in addition to that, I didn't put the wildest stuff in. I had my friends telling me, "Burt, you better not do that. You're going to get killed. And you can't do this. You can't do that."
That's unbelievable. Because
it wasn't tame. I mean, what I put in there was certainly not tame. All of it was real. But there was even worse things, that more messes that we got into that there's several cities we've been asked never to come back to,
That's because, like I said, I read the book, and the stuff in there is incredibly wild, and to think that it was a tame version of the real story.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, it was an 8, but the whole thing would have been a 10. But I just said, people were saying, "You can't do that. You can't do that, Burt. You're going to get yourself killed."
Now, they keep doing all these animated Batman movies, which they're phenomenal. Have they ever approached you to come in and do a voice?
No, not for a while, because the stuff they do, they've got this edgier thing, this rougher kind of way of doing it, the Dark Knight kind of concept.
Yeah, I just still think it'd be great to have you in, not necessarily as Robin, but just as a character voice, just to say Burt Ward.
Well, no, I know, but I don't know that I would do that.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean, there's certain, because, Adam and I have a certain allegiance to the show and to the characters. And in fact, when we did make appearances, when we were wearing our costumes, okay, somebody would say, "Oh, take off your mask." We would never do that. We always preserved the characters and everything for the kids. You know what I mean? And as we felt a responsibility to the character, not to in any way, break that magical sense.
Being Robin, does it bug you a bit to see that it seems to be a character they have no problem killing a lot, because they just killed the latest Robin?
I know, but then they bring him back. Can I tell you, look, it's all marketing. And besides, the character they killed was not the same Robin that I played.
No, luckily yours went on to become Nightwing. I'm a geek. I know I know my in and outs, so you lived.
Right. But, listen, I mean, they asked me about it, and I laugh about it. It's all part of the game. You know what I mean? Sell more comic books, get more people to go to the theater. I don't blame them.
Warner Brothers is a master marketeer. They're brilliant.
Very true. And I can't wait to see this new comic book that is kind of picking up where the show left off.
I mean, listen, they have all new merchandise. There's a big resurgence of Batman. You know, it's timeless. It really is.